Hello, my friends, my family, esteemed colleagues. This discussion is going to be about what science calls the pulmonary hypertension. Hypertension, increased blood pressure in pulmonary arteries. Okay, now I'm going to again go to my dear friends of Mayo Clinic because they just put the information so nicely so we can look at it, what doctors are being told, and right away discuss it there. And then after that I'm going to elaborate a little bit more on certain details. So this is really going to be very informative to doctors themselves, but young doctors are, as always, young people, they think that what they are learning is the latest in science and it's the good stuff. Actually, we are more and more corrupted, and science is more and more corrupted. So actually, today's students of medicine, it's not medicine, it's a medicine because everything is inverted. And it's controlled by Rockefeller Foundation. So what do you expect? They want depopulation. So what do you think they are going to teach doctors? To heal or depopulate? Anyway, so I'm going to first go on Mayo Clinic site, and we are going to see, this is just the general knowledge that doctors receive, and we are going to be explaining right in a moment some of these misunderstandings, and especially if you are a student in medical school or nutrition or physiotherapy, pay attention, because you are going to learn things that will help you, and you will see it all makes sense. We have to start actually thinking. So do not just try to memorize, just think about what is being said. Okay, my friends, so let's start. Okay, my friends, so here we are. Pulmonary hypertension or hypertension. Pulmonary hypertension is a type of high blood pressure that affects the arteries in the lungs and right side of the heart, because from right side is where the blood goes and makes a loop through the pulmonary circulation, and then from the left one is where it goes into aorta and goes to the rest of the body. Here they say it's a problem of pulmonary vessels, but they classify it differently down below. So let's go first into symptoms. Okay, so symptoms, pulmonary hypertension. When doctor will diagnose you with pulmonary hypertension? Shortness of breath. Well, shortness of breath is when there is not enough oxygenation. And enough oxygenation does not necessarily mean pulmonary hypertension. So this is false. Blue or gray skin, same thing. It's all about oxygenation. Chest pressure or pain. Well, chest pressure or pain, we used to call this angina pectoris. And we know that when a pain occurs, it is a warning signal. And it will occur if one area of the body does not receive enough oxygen, or it doesn't receive enough energy, enough electricity. And when chest pain occurs, then it means there is not enough energy going to heart. And seldom it is caused by narrowing of heart arteries. It is caused usually because of stress, because stress agitates brain uses huge amount of energy and drop in electric voltage, then it's going to interfere with proper running of the heart muscle, and pain, chest pain occurs. I had it when I was young, when I changed schools. I was, 10 years old, 11 years old. So, has nothing to, has nothing to do actually with pulmonary hypertension. Dizziness or fainting, again, not enough oxygen coming to the brain or not enough electricity, and has nothing to do with pulmonary hypertension, or very little to do. Dizziness or fainting, fast pulse or pounding. Heart will accelerate whenever more of something has to be delivered or taken out. So heart is working properly, it's just demand that changes. And yes, if a heart needs more electricity, it will pump harder, because heart is not only pump, heart is actually electric generator, energy generator. And this may vary, because it may start delivering too much, so then it slows down or skips a couple beats, and then starts pumping, and then wants to catch up and does a couple extra beats. So heart is working correctly. It's all about signaling. Fatigue. Fatigue has nothing really to do, well, nothing. Partially, it can be affected by something which is going to also affect pulmonary hypertension. But pulmonary hypertension itself doesn't cause fatigue. Swelling in ankles and legs and belly area, we know that this is all related to toxic accumulation that makes lymph very toxic and does not allow it to rejoin circulation. So again, all those things, every single symptom mentioned here is a symptom of general chronic poisoning of the body, but nothing really to do with strictly pulmonary hypertension. Causes. Pulmonary hypertension is caused by changes in the cells that line the lung arteries. Not necessarily, as we explained. Changes can make the artery wall narrow, stiff, swollen. It's all about cellular dehydration, acidity, toxicity. And then it does not affect only arteries of lungs, but arteries of the whole body, and not only arteries. It affects muscles, connective tissue, and variety of problems starts simultaneously. And this is where all this confusion comes in. Blaming one symptom on another when actually culprit is mostly the same, and it's dehydration and toxicity caused because of it. Now, pulmonary arterial hypertension, they put it in groups here. So first group involves unknown cause. Well, all these causes are unknown to every student and every doctor whose knowledge only comes from Rockefeller designed misinformative science, misinformation or science. So they call it idiopathic pulmonary because, the cabal calls us idiots because we accept what we are being served and we disregard what we see. This is why young doctors and students, they are full of themselves because they think they know the biggest and newest in the science. And the experienced doctors, they know that the science they use is worth crap. They cannot fix anything. So they are more likely to listen. But in my opinion, my experience actually, I noticed that the older ones, they don't really care anymore. They just want to go in pension and forget about it. Okay, so unknown changes in gene passed down through families. Well, it could be genetic glitch, but it's very, very rare. It's always genes are plastic. They are the intermediary between our environment and ourselves. So as environment changes, so genetic activity shifts, influencing cellular changes. So if in a family we eat the same food, and if we have coffee drinkers, well, everybody starts drinking coffee. If we have a tea drinkers, everybody drinks tea. If we are, eating just a plain diet, then of course children have to eat it. My mother, well, we didn't eat only plants, but my mother didn't let me get off the table until I finished my veggies. I hated cooked veggies. I could eat them raw. I could not stomach them cooked. Young body knows immediately what's good, what's not good to it. Okay, so family-run diseases because of same habits. Use of some medicines. Of course, all medicines are toxic. Heart condition present at birth, yes. We know that fetus does not breathe. There is no air. So the atrium in a heart is opened. There is a passage because there is no necessity to have separate circulation, one for lungs and one for the rest of the body, because lungs do not provide any oxygen or exchange of gases. It goes through placenta. So in fetus, the heart is opened, has opening, but before birth, child's heart closes and separates the chambers. So this way there is no mixing of pulmonary circulation with the aortic circulation. In some children, this opening didn't close. Sometimes it closes when children are small, so it's gradually will close. Now, why it didn't close in the womb? Because mother is toxic or is under toxic medication. And toxicity causes cells to lock down, not to absorb, and they become dehydrated. And when there is no hydration, the opening remains, it doesn't close. Then when child is born and he starts drinking mother's milk is cleaner than mother's blood. So starts hydrating, usually has diarrhea, maybe even vomits a few times, getting the toxins out. And then as it's being hydrated better, the heart hernia starts closing down. The opening closed down. No problem. Now, heart condition present at birth, other health conditions including scleroderma, lupus, cirrhosis. Well, cirrhosis severe dehydration. Lupus, also severe dehydration. Scleroderma, same thing. It's all about dehydration and toxicity. Now, group 2, pulmonary hypertension caused by left side heart disease. So now we are talking about the part of the heart which pumps the blood into artery. Well, how does this cause hypertension of lungs, arteries? It doesn't, but the symptoms are same. So if the symptoms are same, yeah, heck, let's just slap it together. Left heart failure, tricuspidal valve, when it's not closing properly, then when heart contracts, some of the blood goes backwards, causing a sound, murmur, slush. And this, if it becomes, if a lot of blood starts returning, then there is not proper oxygenation of the body. And you have exactly the same symptoms that were being mentioned as a problem of pulmonary hypertension. Actually, more likely, the symptoms come right from here, from problem with the valve. And why valve doesn't close? Well, what do we know when something dehydrates? What happens? It reduces in size and it develops creases. And exactly this is how the tricuspidal heart valve looks when it is dehydrated. And because of the creases, it doesn't close properly and leaks, causing this problem. And then, if nothing is being done by it, if we are medicated, medication is additional poisoning, so things just progressively increase. So what happens? The whole valve becomes soft, can overstretch easily, and it usually bends and flips. And now heart cannot really pump correctly. And when it cannot pump correctly, it starts compensating, so pumps faster and faster. And it can come into fibrillation, that just rapidly, because it doesn't pump at all. It's basically, the valve is bent and blood goes left and right, it's not pumping. This is dangerous state. And again, what do we know about it? Cut the valve out and put a new one in. Mechanical or from pig or something. Well, you are making permanent patient when you can fix this easily with proper cellular hydration. And I have a bunch of friends who helped themselves and repaired their valve, this tricuspidal valve, simply through hydration, through Selvius protocol. Now the third group, hypertension caused by lung disease. Well, this is actually what will cause the true pulmonary hypertension. What we know? So here, scarring of the lung, pulmonary fibrosis. What causes fibrosis? Severe dehydration. Dehydration becomes so severe that the collagen fiber, dehydrated, starts showing white color. This is what we also in eye, we call it cataract. In liver, we call it cirrhosis. It's all the same damn thing. Chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Well, you can have obstruction of pulmonary artery. But again, this is rare, and when it occurs, it is problem of low electrical charge caused through toxicity, and again, dehydration. which I explained in many other articles and videos. Sleep disorder, well, sleep apnea. Sleep apnea doesn't cause the problem, but it may occur with all the other symptoms, because sleep apnea actually is caused also by cellular dehydration and toxicity. Being at high altitude, extended period of time. Well, if you are extended period of time on high altitude, you start developing more blood vessels and you start developing more red blood cells, because body genetically will adjust to compensate. So you're not going to have this problem, but this problem may happen when you suddenly go in high altitudes. You will have problem with oxygenation, and many of these symptoms, so-called, that describe pulmonary hypertension will occur that have nothing to do with pulmonary hypertension, as I'm trying to explain. Group 4, caused by blockages of pulmonary arteries. Well, I thought that we already discussed it upstairs. It's caused by tumor, for example. Yeah, well, tumor, we are talking about all different ballgame. Group 5, pulmonary hypertension triggered by other health condition. Blood disorder, polycythemia. Well, polycythemia is dehydrated blood. I have debunked that 1,000,000 times. Again, cause dehydration. Inflammation. We mentioned it already. So what is this 5th group? They make groups just to make themselves more relevant. It's all same baloney. Conditions that affect the body ability to break down certain sugars, including glycogen storage disease. This is all nonsense, because again, now we have to start debunking the glucoholic body system, which we don't have time. It has nothing to do with pulmonary hypertension. Kidney disease has nothing to do with pulmonary hypertension, but yes, you will have a kidney problem when you are highly dehydrated, when blood is highly dehydrated. Again, about kidney diseases, I made separate video, so we don't have to waste time here on this. Eisenmenger syndrome. Is a long-term complication of an unrepaired heart condition present at birth. Well, this is the herniated heart. Right? So I have to learn now 1,000,000 ways how to call the same exact problem. Well, again, 1,000,000 times they are mentioning the same thing. Like it was going to make any difference. Risk factors. Pulmonary hypertension is usually seen in people ages 30 to 60. Growing older can increase the risk of developing, of course, because getting more toxic, more dehydrated. Okay, now other risks. Pulmonary hypertension are family history, of course, another bullshit. Being overweight, a bullshit. Smoking, yes. You are poisoning your lungs. Increased poison. Body uses more plasma to cleanse it. You urinate more. Smoking serves as diuretic, as any plant is going to work in the body as diuretic. Blood clotting disorders. Family history of blood clots. Well, family history, again, it's all about same habits. And blood clotting, very often before blood clotting, what we see, that blood cells the red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, it all starts clumping together. Why? Because blood is dehydrated, it's thicker, it's more toxic, less electricity flows through it, making us tired, and lowering the electromagnetic field, and cells do not repel correctly. So I mentioned this a million times. Okay, asbestos. We know it's highly toxic. Heart condition present at birth. Okay, same shit. Again, they are repeating the same stuff a million times just to be more convincing or something. I have no idea. Living attitude. Okay, this is the same damn thing, just being mentioning over and over. It's like me sitting in a school again. Have to read these very thick books where all the knowledge can come in 3 pages. Okay, complications. Since the right side of the heart is the one that pumps heart into the lungs, if you have inflammation in the lungs, what's causing inflammation? Well, we know it's when cells, in this case alveoli, need more of something, in this case is more plasma, they have to cleanse something or produce more mucus. While cleansing, they will go into inflammation, restricting the arteries, ends of arteries and veins, which then creates back pressure buildup between the constricted area and the heart. It's like a end of a garden hose. You squeeze it to make higher pressure in a hose of water so it can squirt further. Exactly this happens during inflammation processes. So if you have any chronic pulmonary problem that involves inflammation, what happens is the back pressure of pulmonary artery increases, which means also heart will have to pump under higher pressure. So when you are going to go and lift heavier weights, what happens? Your muscles grow. Is this toxic or problematic? No, we love it. We want to have big muscles. All of a sudden, bigger right side of the heart muscle, it becomes problem because it's going to cause heart failure. It doesn't. It just allows heart to pump under higher pressure. It's nonsense. Yeah, but we keep repeating this nonsense because we are being told by experts, no, it's bad for the heart. Heart is enlarging. This is terrible. Every sport guy sport individual that does demanding sports has enlarged heart, the whole heart muscle. And then heart pumps differently when we are relaxed, because enlarged, stronger muscle pumps more heart, pumps more blood, and also creates more electricity because of it. So when we are relaxed, we may not need so much oxygen and so much energy, so heart skips a beat or two. And then sometimes it receives backup information, hey, we are getting short. So it makes 2 short pumps later. Goes pump, pump, stops. Then again, pump or pump, pump, because it has to catch up. This is all properly working heart and receiving information from the body and body's needs. And all of a sudden we turn this into a huge defect. There's no defect whatsoever. Blood clots, yeah, I explained why blood clotting can happen. Again, toxic blood. Irregular heartbeats, I just explained them. Bleeding in the lungs. Well, bleeding in the lungs can occur because sometimes body, when alveoles are very toxic, when it's creating mucus, it also throws in the bad parts, the toxic parts of the blood. And you will have it inflamed. I explained it when I'm talking about lung problems. Pregnancy complications, hypertension can be life-threatening. Well, developing baby, if mother has any pulmonary condition, she is highly toxic and dehydrated. Of course, baby is going to have problems. Many babies are born of toxic mothers and also medicated mothers. You don't know which one is worse. Well, diagnosis and treatment. Diagnosis, well, tests, blood tests. Well, they do all kinds of a test -1 to check the percentage of plasma in the blood. They just classify it as a thick blood. And now we know it's a big nonsense. X-ray chest to check what is going on with lungs. All this is pure baloney. Catheterization of the heart. You don't need none of it if you know the truth. Stress test, okay. Magnetic resonance test, yeah. You can have billion tests and you can see the problems. What good does it do to you if you are misled in knowing the culprit? As long as you keep avoiding to connect dehydration and toxicity with chronic problems, you will fail. You will never know the truth. And once when you connect, all of a sudden, all diseases disappear. Okay, all these classifications, it's a hogwash, as we saw. So let's, treatment. Okay, what treatment? How can you treat something that you are misled in understanding? The treatment for all this is hydration. Change your diet. Stop poisoning yourself through food. Stop poisoning yourself through toxic medicaments. And start supporting your body with its cleansing process. Support the diarrhea. Support frequent urination. Support drinking, replenishing the lost liquid with the salt and water. Plasma. Medications. Of course, yeah, making worse thing with medication. Now, here, again, what medication? How to poison yourself. Oxygen therapy, the only good thing here. Yeah, lung transplant. That's where the money goes. This is why they treat you with medication to make situation worse. And then finally they say, oh, it's autoimmune. There's nothing else. We got to cut your lungs out and give a new. So then they kill healthy individual to give you the healthy lungs, which you are going to destroy within a few years. because you remain toxic. And you will need another transplant and another transplant. Great industry. Okay, my friends, this drives me crazy. Yeah, make appointment with doctor. If you make appointment with doctor, also make appointment with mortician. Get your spot in a cemetery. That's all I can tell you. Okay, my friends, so here you can see for yourself what the doctors know. Everything they know is worth less than toilet paper. Put it that way. At least toilet paper is useful for some things. The medical knowledge we receive in medical schools, controlled by the cabal, by the Rockefeller Foundation, which has its tentacles in all the countries of the world. And we all learn from the same books. We are being brainwashed. And of course, we don't know the truth and we cannot help anybody other than make things worse. We just play with symptoms. You have a problem. Inflamed alveoli. You cannot breathe. You are wheezing when you are breathing because alveoli close down because they are inflamed. We have several names for this, for the same process. We just change one or two different symptoms, and this is why it becomes a different disease. But it's always just inflammation of alveoli. And it's caused because of toxic blood that leads into toxic tissue, toxic cells. Cells have to cleanse occasionally. They are forced to cleanse. The alveoli will cleanse by producing, it's a mucosal tissue, so produce through mucus, they will throw toxins out, creating phlegm. You have a phlegm, you are coughing, you need anti-cough medication. Suppress the stuff. Prevent cells, alveoli from cleansing themselves. Poison them. They'll stop. Give them anti-inflammatory. So they cannot receive the necessary plasma and they cannot cleanse. So they stop cleansing. Inflammation is gone. Once, when you allow yourself to open your mind and take contradictory information in for evaluation, not to accept, but allow it to come in and allow your brain to use this information while thinking, while processing. And you are going to notice very quickly the truth. And here, this is probably the only medical site that is revealing the truth. And yes, by specialists, I'm charlatan. They want to send me back to school. Thank you very much. School damaged me enough. Luckily, I hated school, so I didn't linger too much around, and as soon as I could, I ran away and started thinking for myself. And things changed. But then society doesn't let you. Society doesn't let you do anything out on your own. Why? Because you are interfering with the money-making process for those who consider themselves as our owners. So, here, thankfully, we have broken now the system, the old system, and medicine is one of those things that have to crash completely because it's completely faulty. It's based on wrong premises. Nothing is truthful that is in medicine. That's why I call it medicine. And I don't call it medical science, I call it medical science. Science of medicine. It is a medicine. What we think that is our knowledge, medical knowledge. It's pure garbage. Okay, my friends. I don't need to vent anymore on this. It's self-evident. Only if you allow yourself to think. Now, some people attack me that I don't know what I'm talking about. Everybody knows the truth and I'm misled. Well, try to think. Just try to think. Don't repeat what you hear. Don't repeat what you hear from me. But allow it to penetrate and start thinking and observing. And your knowledge will grow. I'm learning. I know jack squat. I'm learning. But I'm allowing myself the freedom of observing, thinking, experimenting, seeing what works, how it works, and sharing it then with everybody. I'm not telling you, follow me. Don't. Don't do the self-healers protocol. But think about it. And if you have health issues, and if nothing was working, what the heck, why not try it? Look, it's free. The whole treatment is free. Yeah, I like to receive some compensation for my time, but I sent a lot of protocols and my books out for free to those who claim they cannot afford to pay $20 or $30 or give some small donation. I give it to you for free. I don't care. There's always this good soul somewhere that compensates for those who do not want to. So, it's all in the hands of the Almighty, the I am consciousness. Okay, my friends, there's nothing more I can add to this. If you have been diagnosed, well, with pulmonary hypertension, you are toxic, you are dehydrated, and whatever doctor tells you is baloney. The truth is, change your diet and hydrate, and you will see things shift. But then you will go into detox. And when you have chronic problem, which pulmonary hypertension is, then you are going to go into some major detox, which means flu-like symptoms, which is flu symptoms, not flu-like. Flu is symptom of toxic blood and it's detox. And you are going to go through this. And it's going to go in groups, and it's a long process. But you start feeling better and better and better. And you don't waste any money. You don't buy any herbs, you don't buy any medication, no plants. You are not feeding any of these baloney industries. The supplement industry is as damaging and as fraudulent as the pharmaceutical one. But people refuse to see it. It all works on suppression. With the plants, there is a little difference also because it's a targeted cleanse. So you can actually go and target the most problematic part if you know what you are doing. But to know what you are doing, you have to already be expert in this. So you have to be shaman. You cannot get this knowledge by reading articles. You have to feel it. And even then, it doesn't work the way how shamans think it works. It is, again, targeted detox. Which is easier to bear than cellular protocol that gives you general detox. That will affect also the area that you want to heal, but you go generally into the healing and cleansing process, which is more difficult. But then again, you don't need to buy anything, you do it by yourself. Earlier you start in your life, the easier it is, and the more fulfilling life you are going to have without fear of any diseases or any problems. Okay, my friends, thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. And God bless us all. Love you. Namaste.